This is the latest edition of Front Up, and I'm Whitey Willauer, and I've got a great guest today, Nash Strudwick. That's S-T-R-U-D-W-I-C-K, right?
You're the first one to get it correct.
Yeah, I've been practicing.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah. Tell me how you got here and what you're doing.
Wow. If it's got to Nantucket, I'd have to say I'm a wash ashore like many of us out here. Spent some summers out here as a kid, and then came back after running around in the professional world for a while, and then just couldn't leave. Fell in love.
And you've done multiple of things here. You've been with community sailing, and you've been
That's right. I spent some time helping organize and move community sailing forward from a very solid foundation to the next level. And I've spent some time in real estate. That's where I am now, working with J. Pepper Fraser Company. And I'm also chairman of the board, chairman of the Park and Rec Commission.
That's right, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
And a board member for ASAP.
Well, that's quite.
Which brings us here today.
That brings us here today.
That's right.
Now, tell me about what ASAP's doing right now.
Well, one of the many functions of ASAP is to create leadership, education, and support towards the prevention of and misuse of
drugs and alcohol.
Drugs, alcohol, any addictive substance, really. It's such a wide scope, and we handle so much. I was trying to think how I could laser it into just 3 words or less, but it's very difficult. We are a coalition that really crosses all of the island's platforms of prevention services, and we work with all of these organizations in both social media applications, planning of fundraisers, of information awareness agendas, as well as something really simple where the rubber hits the road, getting kids thinking about and talking about and being aware of the hazards of drug abuse.
Yeah, it's quite a problem on the island here.
It's become quite a big problem, and my affiliation with ASAP has really opened my eyes to the problem that I wasn't aware of before. I have 3 young boys who are 12, 13, and 14. Very susceptible, as any young man is out here, and I wanted to be more aware of what's going on in the neighborhood.
And so ASAP is a platform. Now, tell me about this Red Ribbon campaign that's coming up that ASAP's running.
It's one of our media drives, for the lack of a better word. We do so much, but right now, for the last week of October, we're jumping on the wagon of a national agenda whereby for 1 week we make everybody aware of the problems of drug and alcohol and addiction abuse. It began back in 1985, I believe, when a special agent from the DEA in California was killed on duty.
Murdered, wasn't he?
He was murdered, on duty. And the community around him started wearing red ribbons to commemorate his life and his efforts. And about 3 years later, in 1988, Congress adopted a national program called the Red Ribbon Week. So around the country, everybody's doing something the last week of October. So from October 24th to October 30th, the Monday through Sunday, we will be promoting awareness and education and leadership of any sort of drug abuse or addiction or related problem on Nantucket.
I gather you all are going to get the selectmen to wear these red ribbons.
Well, we'd like to. We'd like to have the support of the selectmen, but that's just a small bit of the island population who we really want to bring in and support this program of ours.
What kind of things are you going to be doing? So what kind of programs?
We are starting off with youth. That's our focus as an organization. We are incorporating programs that bring the Nantucket High School, the Cyrus Pierce Middle School, the elementary school, the new school, and the Lighthouse School in on a banner campaign, sticker, wristband, pencil, awareness, coloring book idea. And we do that through different ways. We're starting off on Monday at the elementary school, and our plan there is to have all the teachers direct their classes dress in red. So we go outside at some point during the morning and have a human red ribbon photographed from about 60 feet from the fire truck. Something we did last year.
You're bringing the fire truck in.
Bringing the fire truck in. They are part of the Cross Coalition support of what we're trying to do. They're going to come in, take a shot, of all these elementary schools, kids in red making a big red ribbon, and we're excited about that.
Oh, it's going to lay out a red ribbon.
Lay out, I think back by the playground. They're going to just lay it all out. They go an aerial shot. We are also working with the Stop and Shop. They have donated over 650 grocery bags to us. We're going to deliver those to the elementary school as well. Each of the students will be decorating in art class a shopping bag with a healthy lifestyles choice theme, basically, whether it's red ribbon or just happy smiling people or sunshine, anything they want, but it's to support the red ribbon idea. We'll take those back to the Stop and Shop, and then all the groceries will be bagged in those for the week and going out to everyone around the island.
That's a great.
We have, for the older kids, planned an open skate time at Nantucket Ice. They are joining in with us as well. And that's going to be running from about 6:30 to 8:30, probably during the midweek, just so that we can have something that the older kids will want to participate in as well. In the high school, same idea. We're not sure exactly how we're going to bring the high schoolers in on this, but just in terms of gifts. But we have banners up and signs, and the high school kids help out quite a lot on their own just by providing us with very quantitative data of problems that are happening in schools. The marijuana use, the alcohol abuse.
That's when you send them out and give and they reply back in a form.
Exactly, very anonymous,
Yeah.
but it's a quantitative survey that we use as part of our data collection strategy that we give to the drug-free community. Is one of the task force coalitions that we're working with out here.
So have you done that over a series of years?
To my knowledge, it's been steady, but not necessarily recordable. It's become refined so that it meets a government standard now and can be used for the submission of grants specifically focused on the leadership, education, and support and prevention of these related problems.
So it shows any progress that's being made or any changes in, say, usage. I gather marijuana is quite prevalent, and that's what was recognized in this survey.
It is, and these surveys do record changes. They have to be viewed with not skepticism, but with the proper data. The age groups, the 8th graders now will do something different next year when they're 9th graders, and they'll do something different when they're 10th graders. There isn't a common theme that goes with each grade level, but more so with each class as it progresses through the school system. And a lot of times we see problems well before kids are even in the middle school. Not necessarily abuse, but just alert issues that make us aware that we have to make sure we provide very, very critical and very educational and exciting alternatives for kids.
Yeah. I remember being my class in high school was being characterized in a certain way, and I
bet it was.
We were a rather good class.
Okay.
I suspect that they told every class they were a good class.
There are categorizations going on right now, and that happens every year. There are good classes, and there are better classes. That's the best way to look at it.
But you don't let anybody know that.
No. You don't have to let them know. They're either good or better.
I see.
That's all.
I see. Anything else that programs that you have associated with the Red Ribbon?
With Red Ribbon, yes. The coordinating programs, the feeder programs that come in are our drug take-back program, which is an annual event. We work with Nantucket Cottage Hospital, with the high school, with Mass General, with Dan's Pharmacy, and with the field station as well. And the idea is to have any old prescription drugs turned in to one location and not poured down the sink or not dropped down the toilet or not just thrown away in the garbage. These medications have to be disposed of properly, just like any hazardous waste. So that's been a very successful drug take-back program.
Yeah.
It
That's
keeps drugs
important.
out of medicine cabinets that are just sitting around.
And it's important to do what you're doing because it turns up and ends up in the water aquifer.
It certainly does. They're very powerful. We think that it's just a little bottle with 1 or 2 pills in it, but those add up. And we don't know what they are. When you turn them in, we find out what they are. We record them. We dispose of them properly.
And so you're going to be doing that in the near future?
We do that once a year.
Once a year.
Definitely. Believe it or not, it's hard to coordinate that sometimes, getting all the players involved.
Yeah.
We have our own DFC volunteers who have to work it. We have people from the police who have to be involved. We have people from the pharmacies who have to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
People from the hospital who have to be involved. And then you have the volunteers helping just move people along and get the word out. So it is a major effort, a social sponsorship of a program. That's one of many that just leads right into the strength of a Red Ribbon. Just making people aware of what's out there. It doesn't have to be marijuana or alcohol. It can very easily be a medicine cabinet full of pills.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if I asked you everything about Red Ribbon that I should ask you?
I don't know whether you've asked everything, because it's one program, and a very successful program that ASAP really likes to stand behind. It's a national program, and that's most important to recognize. We are not just trying to do this on Nantucket. It is a problem that is affecting the country.
Yeah.
And it's just 1 week a year that Congress is dedicated to a focus on this one issue.
Yeah.
And that makes it special.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you very much and appreciate your
Pleasure.
coming in
Pleasure.
and enlightening us about ASAP and some of your programs, especially the Red Ribbon program.
Well, just a last little reminder, ASAP is just one of the coalitions on island working for the leadership and education of everybody. It's a community-supported group. It's a 501c3, and we can always use support, both financial and volunteers, if anybody wants to help out. I'm sure we can put them in touch with the right folks.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Nash. And
You're very welcome.
I appreciate your coming in today.
Thanks for having us.